Oh yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic today. Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin, but also some altcoins, guys. There are a couple of altcoins getting a rally, and I am happy today because one of my altcoins, my third largest altcoin, is actually pumping in the last few days. You know which one I am talking about, guys. You know this if you have been following the channel in the last few months. Let's see if we do see some more upside momentum for this altcoin. Let me know in the comment section if you know which one it is, guys. Which one it is. I was a little bit down because, you know, I did invest in throughout 2025 in this crypto, and it went down quite a lot. How is everybody doing? Make sure to smash up that like button on your way in, guys. Let's see if you can hear me, if you can see me. Background music, it's on. Let's go, guys. Let's go through the comment section, and we're going to do Bitcoin, okay, and analyze the situation. There's some interesting data of potentially looking for a reversal soon on Bitcoin. My target zone is going to be 116K. 116K to be revisited at some point in the next coming weeks. Now, of course, as we are downtrending, it's not been easy to spot, okay? We're losing levels. We're almost testing the lows here of the 17th of September, which is sitting at 103.4K, 103.5K, depending on what exchange you're looking at. And obviously, you know, it's very, very hard if the price were to bounce from here. You know, I prefer to remain patient. We either get a bigger move down and then signs of support, and then look for that reversal. We're just rolling over throughout the last few days when we consider any long positions. Of course, if you are in shorts, either from this lower high or this one right over here, which was the point of control. It was a magnificent level to actually enter a short position, basically point of control of this area with a very, very slight attempt to break above. I preferred this level to actually try and break it and then lose it. That would have been my option there. And the price is rolling over. So when do we long? When is the next long? Because obviously looking for swing shorts down here. I mean, yeah, you can target this low or even, you know, the low 100K levels, but you know, the price is, you know, you haven't got much room to take profit, right? If you're shorting down here, unless you're scalping right on the 1 minute, 3 minute time frame and looking for little movements of, you know, $500 to $1,000. So when are we going to get that reversal? We are going to be talking about reversal scenarios, right? What do we need to pay attention to? Because we do have some reversal signs, some data, some news that I would like to go through, guys, okay? Which are looking very, very interesting. Obviously, extreme fear throughout the market. Let's go through the comment section. We'll dive in through Bitcoin the first 30 minutes at least of the stream, and then we can go through a few of the altcoins and a bit of the news, okay? So make sure to smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content, legends. Let me see who is in here. Let me see, do a recount of the like button, see how it's doing. You can hear me, you can see me. Like button almost at 100. That's good enough for me on the first couple of minutes of the stream. That's good enough. 60 likes. That is good enough, guys. Much love to everybody here. Nico Soapy, I might be asleep when the live stream starts, but let's go, legends. My man, much love to you. Make sure to get some rest. Staffer One, hope you are doing good today. Andy, I'm doing wonderful. We got one of the altcoins. I'm literally sitting at break even on this altcoin, still in profits on Ethereum, Bitcoin eventually. We're talking about spot bags here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink still up, but not that much, just under a 3x. And one that I added in the last few months, guys, throughout 2025, basically, because we have been ranging, is, yes, ICP, please. ICP it is. ICP is pumping. We got to $5.50. I have to say, when we talk about, Andy, I'm so done. I know. I was done. We were all devastated about that major liquidation drop. It was a bad idea to sell. In my case, I'm talking about ICP, guys. I'm literally at break even, okay? But that's good enough for me because this was the major zone that I actually accumulated some ICP. Something good is that we've reclaimed the big point of control, right? When we look at the higher time frame, that's, you know, this is such a sketchy move. Get everybody devastated, right? And then obviously start the bull run, right? When everybody's out and absolutely liquidated and just sold at a loss, or I don't know, right? ICP fundamentally, I think, is one of the strongest blockchains. It's leading in AI. You know, I'm not a fundamental guy, but how classic is this? Market makers are nasty. They are nasty, right? So I did buy and accumulate. I bought a little bit of ICP in this range right over here, okay? Just round about the $8 zone. This was back in 2024. I didn't buy much. And overall, in this consolidation is where I bought significantly, okay? You know, looking at the support, then we had the major liquidation event, of course. I had a long trade on ICP. It got stopped out eventually. You know, any longs on any altcoins, we know that most of the people got stopped out. It was just inevitable. It wasn't a massive position, but I was concerned about my spot bag that I accumulated throughout this zone, because I made it the third largest altcoin, right? For the bull run, right? For the Q4 of this year, to hopefully, you know, see a massive rally and hopefully make a 3-4x. I'm not looking for a 20x. I'm looking for a 3-4x on some, you know, money that I invested on this altcoin. And I was devastated throughout the last few weeks in October because I was down over 50%, right? You know, we were very vocal about this. We can't hide these emotions of like, damn guys, you know, we are down big. I'm down big time, not we. I mean, you do you, I'll do me. And I'm happy right now because it's literally at break even, right? And then I'm happy because it was, you know, a significant amount of capital. I'm vocal about it. I invested more than $50,000 in this zone. Was down just around about 25K or so, right, throughout the last couple of weeks down here. And we're back at break even. So is it time to exit at break even and just say, you know, screw this? I'm not going to sell, guys. I'm not going to sell. We've reclaimed big levels of resistance. This point of control of the massive consolidation of 2022, which is a good sign. I mean, this is like instead of the spring point being at this zone, it's literally got to the bear market lows to get everybody out to then get a nice healthy rally, right? This is what happens, right? What happened? Get everybody saying it's an absolute scam, everything's going down the toilet, and then get the rally. So, yeah, I'm going to give a little bit of hope on this one to at least break above the $6 in the next coming weeks, right? Hopefully it is going to be pretty parabolic and we're going to get more momentum to the upside. And that's when obviously we'll be in the profit, regarding the spot bags. Anyway, it seems like we have been getting some interesting news on ICP, right? You can see throughout X, Internet Computer, lots of positive vibes on this crypto, especially right now. It's been one of the best performers throughout the last few days. When you go to CoinGecko, obviously the privacy coins are leading the way. You got Dash, you got Zcash. But ICP is in the top gainers right now, which is getting that ultimate recovery. Okay, so I'm happy to see that, because it was one of my big positions on altcoins. The rest are like very, very small amount, not even considering it, but ICP is. So we got a rally, we reclaimed some major levels. When we talk about, we had some resistance support flips on the momentum to the upside. We have, also reclaimed the valley area low of this entire zone and the point of control. We actually back tested the point of control just today at $5, just under $5, getting a nice wick down. There's some internal scalping day trades here. Obviously, in such a bullish momentum move here, you want to try and long here the retracements and take profits at the highs. So ultimately, a very strong move, reclaiming big zones of resistance, which is a good sign, guys, right? You're worried when you get resistance and you're dancing around. This could be the rollover. But with volume increasing, we've had the most insane amount of volume coming in on ICP in the last 3 to 4 years. We haven't seen this amount of volume come in for a long time, and it's literally at the low. So market makers, big people do they know something? Do they know that, this is gonna have a massive new uptrend? Hopefully it is going to happen, right? So let's get above the range highs here at $6 and let's see how we break through that zone, okay? But so far it's not looking too bad for ICP, as it has reclaimed with a strong amount of volume some very, very important levels, okay? Point of control of 2022, which is this pinky, right? Horizontal line right there, big volume breakout, getting above the point of control of, basically entire 2025 range. And it's a good sign, guys. It's a good sign, right? I didn't buy ICP here. It would have been nice to buy down here eventually, right? When we do take a look at this chart at the moment. I'm just happy that, this was a big zone. This is where mostly I bought my ICP, around the $5 to $6 range. And, just happy to see that this could actually recover to higher levels. Major short squeeze, breaking up with volume, biggest amount of volume that we've seen in the last 2-3 years. That's a good sign, guys. Okay, so let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens on ICP. So far so good. It is reclaiming some major levels, but we're not here to talk about ICP. Just wanted to point out this was one of the cryptos that I invested at these levels, which was in a loss. I'm happy with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Chainlink. They're still doing pretty good in the green. And ICP was one of them that was in the red. And obviously we want to talk about it, right? So all good here on ICP. We can do some technical analysis later on. Okay, look for some resistance support flips. It was pretty nice to see throughout the last few days. We got a basic resistance support flip right over here, right? Those highs that we formed flipped as support as we were rejecting the point of control, and then we absolutely rocketed. Okay, so I do see ICP, if it were to come down, okay, I think a very, very interesting level. The thing to go. We've seen Dash, we've seen we go through Bitcoin right now. Zcash, when they go, right? When there's a tension on a major crypto, they might get shallowish pullbacks and they will just continue rallying like crazy, right? So I'm hoping that this does happen to ICP and it does a 200-300% move in the next month or so, right? If this one moved in 1 month from October, from $70, right? We're getting a bit of hopium here, guys, because I do have a significant bag. 500% in 1 month is possible in crypto. A little bit of being optimistic here, but if ICP, I think it's an awesome project. If Zcash did a 500% pump in 1 month, 4 weeks, literally 5x basically, why not? We can get these kind of pumps on ones that are starting to get a sign of strength and reclaiming major levels such as ICP. Let's see. 4-year cycle it is. Altcoin season, maybe not for many, but I hope that this one does get that major attention and blast off, because so far we're getting a good sign. So we can talk about if we do correct here. I think the pretty obvious level, the point of control is already a good level of support that we just tapped today, and we're already pumping 10%. It did visit that point of control today. It's just a solid level of support, guys. This might not come down anymore. But if it were, I would really consider the value area low of this entire range. You're sitting at $4.70, $4.60 area. We have not visited this resistance support. Okay, we haven't flipped it into support right there, and that would be a very, very interesting level if the price of ICP were to come down here to get that bounce. It's all about resistance support flip at this stage. Will it come down there? Maybe not, guys, maybe not, right? But we haven't revisited that resistance support flip ever since we broke it. When we go to the 15-minute time frame, you can see the resistance support flip, value area low. We literally got a little consolidation, broke through. We haven't got down beneath that zone yet. And what is very, very classic when you are, big move and you're chopping here, you know which strategy I like. It's sweeping up the higher low, the first higher low after a big move. That is a very, very classic level to sweep and then reclaim and, continue moving to the upside. So first higher low of the major pump that we had in the last 24 hours is going to be the zone of interest. It might not go there, but if it does, it's the level to participate, because this might just consolidate here and just start breaking to the upside. But if it does this, we are uptrending. It's got a strong move in the last few days. Let's respect the pump and try and join based on a new trade on this ICP pump, right? If it does give us the chance, the best level, look no further. Resistance, support, flip, valley area low of that entire zone of 2025 and sweep up that higher low after the breakout would be the ideal re-entry zone, right? Get a reclaim, tap it, reclaim. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So that's one take here that I do have on ICP, guys. $4.60 to $4.70 just beneath that higher low is an interesting reaction area. Point of control back test today was a good entry. I was just looking at ICP and looking at the levels. That was an interesting long position. Let's go right away through Bitcoin. First of all, comment section, because Bitcoin, they are good signs, guys, that we are looking for Bitcoin to create a reversal at some point. Of course, more downside would be preferred into bigger support levels. Sweep the low, break that, everybody's looking at this, which is that 50 weekly, moving average. Let's just break it and then obviously look for longs, right? To get that reversal and reclaim of it, because that's the moment of panic, max panic in my opinion, because everybody's looking at this moving average. And if everybody's looking at it and everybody thinks that the bear market will, is literally confirmed once you break it and close a weekly, right? Then obviously that's the zone of max pain, max panic. We got some interesting data that obviously is suggesting that we are looking for a reversal at some point soon. So we're going to try and spot that reversal signs, guys, because we want to participate on the reversal, right? Shorting down here is not the greatest option. Of course, we are potentially looking for slightly lower levels, but I'm looking for the big reversal, right? And we're going to try and actually pack up some technical analysis, pack up some scenarios, and build a strategy together, right? So we can all get into that long together, right? And my target zone is going to be 116k, because that's where most of the liquidity is sitting. 116k is kind of that zone where we want the price moving up to. Lots of liquidity of longs have been already liquidated. We might get that little last shakeout to the downside. November, Moonvember, so far no, it's not good, right? So far it's not looking good for November. Also, I would expect some kind of reversal, also based on the technicals that we are going to cover today, guys. All right. Based on data, this is also very interesting. I'll go through the comment section right away. Crypto market sentiment has fallen to its lowest, most negative level since April. We all know what happened in April. We got a big, massive reversal in April, right? Which was down here, right? This was the zone where we've seen the absolute, negative sentiment be very, very similar here. I know the people that will say, well, it's 4-year cycle. This has nothing to do from previous months because the top is in, right? And no matter how the negative sentiment will go for months. I do get that as well. I do get that, right? I obviously we are looking for some kind of a big relief rally, which we are going to study very carefully on this stream to try and spot how the market could move, right? How can it move? Right? Because we all, when you do technical analysis and trading for so many years, in my case, it's over 8 years now, you try and spot those, how the market moves. How does it trick you to believe right? If it's going to go lower, if it's going to go higher. And that's what we need to study, right? That's what we want to build up. How can it move? And we can anticipate those moves, right? To basically take advantage of the situation. So we'll go through that, but that's very interesting to see, right? Most negative level since April. Historically, when this metric turns orange or red, it has identified a local price bottom with over 90% accuracy. I mean, this is just interesting to take into consideration. Obviously, we have the April lows. We haven't gone quite in the red, so it would be nice to get slightly lower levels. But coming down here, you know, gives a consolidation, test the lows a few times, and a potential reversal bubbling up, right? It's cooking. So that's something interesting. Obviously, fear and greed index is more of the same thing, right? We're coming down at extreme fear levels. Last time we were at extreme fear in 2025 literally was in April, where we got that big reversal. March, April was, and you can see we were consolidating in this zone of fear, of extreme fear, for several weeks. Okay, so we're not out of the woods yet. We're downtrending. We could go a few $1,000s more to the downside. That's what we are going to practice today with the technical analysis. So we are aware that, yeah, just because we just hit extreme fear, it's not mean we're going to reverse tomorrow, right? Well, it could, but we could be, basically consolidating in this extreme fear zone for a couple of weeks more. That happened in March, April. March, April eventually was the big reversal point. Things to take into consideration, right? A little bit of hopium, a little bit of data that is backing up here the possibility of that reversal. We are going to consider with the technicals, how the price can move down. With Elliott wave theory, what are the levels of support that are most interesting to see that proof of support, and speculate on those potential reversal signs. For the moment, we're just rolling over. There's no major signs. It's just going down. No big major move with high volume, which I want to see. I always like to see a big move with volume, boom, and then bottom out, because that is usually when you can spot the 4-5 scenario, right? When we consider Elliott wave theory, well, eventually when you have the big move, yeah, you are looking for a little bit of a dead cat bounce, big move with high volume, and then the next wave is the one that you need to be ready, anticipating, right, for that reversal, right? So we're going to build up a few things. We're going to try and spot those, the possible scenarios that could happen. All right. I don't have a crystal ball. I just have a little bit of knowledge on technical analysis and trying to spot those, reversal signs. So let's go right away through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. Andy, is scared of BTC. Andy, talk to BTC. Yeah, the thing is, I've taken some spot profits on Bitcoin, thinking it twice now. I should have sold a little bit more so I can buy at lower levels, potentially below 100K. But, Bitcoin is 20% down, right? Almost from all-time high. That's a lot of money. If you have a lot invested in Bitcoin, it's a big hit on the portfolio. If you have half a Bitcoin, or one Bitcoin, well, you can live with that. But if you have several Bitcoin, this is a big hit on the portfolio. I'm happy that I sold at least 15% up here. Well, obviously, would have been nice to sell half, right, of the portfolio or all of it and buy some here. But that's never the case. You need to kind of scale out, right? When we record, according to investment, you need to scale out, take some profits, consider buying at support levels. So, man, ICP, I'm kind of excited, guys. I'm excited. Not that I've invested a huge amount, but I'm giving some faith here on ICP. It's looking pretty damn good, reclaiming all of these levels, guys. Bull run on this altcoin it is. Let's see. you know, I'm just excited based on some, especially, I'm not sure what's going on with privacy coins, but privacy coins are just going through the roof. Zcash, Dash, I think Monero is going to pick up at some point. And this is the altcoin season to be in, right? I'm going to give a little bit of hopium on ICP, which is the one that is recovering nicely in the last few days. Anyway, we're here to talk about Bitcoin because this is where we are interested in some trading positions. Okay, let's go quickly through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community. Okay, we'll do a little bit of a Q&A session or look at your favorite altcoin later on, guys. Smash up the like button on your way in. Let's do a quick recap on the like. Okay, and 137, 500 people watching. We can do better than that, legends. We can do better than that. Come on. ICP, crash wave 3 of 3 going down. Yeah, that's very good point there. This is a scenario when we consider Elliot wave theory. Nice one right there. Crash wave 3 of wave 3. Now, what does crypto dog mean? Wave 3 of wave 3 is something that I want, you know, I'm skeptical about. We're just about to visit those lows. We were a few dollars away from visiting those lows of the 17th of September. We just tapped it. For me, it's not an acceptable swing failure pattern. I'm sorry. I have to say this is not an SFP level. We are aware of more downside. Why is this a risky swing failure pattern? Well, as someone said in the comment section, can it be wave 3 of wave 3? What does he mean by wave 3 by wave 3? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 wave structure up. If we consider this your wave 1, okay, and this your wave 2, we are developing the wave 3 right now. If that is the most bearish case, I'm going to be I'm not going to give it the highest probability at the moment. We're going to see, but obviously forming a wave 3 here is basically nuking the price down, because wave 3 common targets is the 1.618 extension from your wave 1. And man, we are talking about $80,000. If the price absolutely collapses and nukes and just continues, we're going to have to label it as wave 3. Potential drop of $20,000. And, you know, if we are developing your wave 3, as someone said in the comment section, we are basically inside of the third wave of the third wave, which this is your wave 1 and this is your wave 2, right? So it's 1, 2. You're in the middle stages of the big wave 3, and on the lower time frame, you basically formed your 1 and 2, and now we're forming the third wave down, right? I'm not going to give this the highest probability. We got lots of support and we got other scenarios, okay? But obviously, if this were to be the correct count, then yeah, we could be nuking down, right? This is why it's dangerous to consider any swing longs for the moment. I've been very vocal on this on the pro community with the updates today. We want to be extremely cautious here, because the danger of longing too soon here is you're gonna pay it, right, with with your account. So we're gonna remain a little bit patient here, okay? And I'll be explaining a few scenarios. Much love. Staffer1 here in the comment section, giving love and support as always. Andy, do you see ICP ever reaching all-time high or not really? Well, the all-time high on ICP, it seems pretty silly. I think it's like $400, $500 or even more than that. I'm not sure if launch was like $1,000. I don't see it realistically anytime soon, okay? I'm happy, you know, if ICP gets to $20, I'm going to be cashing out eventually, right? So yeah, ICP to all-time high is unrealistic, okay? It was a bad launch. Yes, it did. RVM3. Dominance looking weird. I know, Bitcoin dominance is just dancing around. We're getting some altcoins with their own life. What about Chainlink? Yeah, Chainlink did get a significant pullback. Okay, we can take a look at Chainlink later on. ICP won't go there, broski. Yeah. I am in ICP with average price at 444. We'll start booking profits at $15. Yeah, let's get above $6 first of all on ICP, okay? let's get above $6 first of all. Oh my god, yeah, it's rallying nicely here, breaking the local highs. Let's see if it does manage to push through. Let's get to the local highs, which I think is the most obvious target, above $6. I think that's a very, very realistic target, at least first of all on ICP, to reach potentially in the coming days. When it goes, right? Anybody that is attempting to short this, I would stay very, very cautious. This is just the initial stages of the pump on ICP, and I think an obvious target would be sweeping up these lower highs that we had in the range of 2025, which is above $6. So that would be the first target zone that I would be expecting in the next coming days. Okay, so anyway, let's go through comment section. We need to cover Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin, most importantly, is losing it. Okay, we're losing it here on Bitcoin. We're losing the lows of the 17th. We're gonna have to analyze the levels that we do have on the chart that are close to us. Is literally a daily level at 108, okay, 100,800 approximately. We have a daily level. We got a naked point of control from those days back in June, 23rd of June, right over here. Little consolidation on this bounce. We got a naked point of control at 101.5k. I wouldn't say that this is, we are at the risk of a big breakdown here. We are at the risk of a big breakdown. So, yeah. It's not going to be not going to be an easy zone. Okay, we're going to have to see proof of support, a little bit of wedgie structure, and we're just going to have to let the price go, guys. It's rolling over, right? For considering any longs and considering a reversal, that the price could drop down several $1,000s, and it's a big problem where we're currently at when we consider the waves. It really is for the people that are looking to long here randomly the price of Bitcoin. It is a big problem, and the main reason is the risk of forming the third wave down, and inside of the lower time frame third wave down, we could be building up the third wave. So it is just a risky zone to consider already longing and adding to positions, because we do not know how low this can go. We don't know the power. Okay, we really need to see some signs of a reversal, and that's what I want to explain here throughout the stream. Okay, so we'll cover those scenarios. Okay, guys, it is going to take a little bit of time, but hopefully you are sitting, you're having your coffee, you got some time here, 30 minutes, 1 hour with me, and we can discuss some different situations here to try and overly look for the reversal potentials, which they are not close with the current signs that we have. Not being interested in any major swing longs at this point in this in this recent price action of the last couple of days. It's just not looking good at all. So yeah, comment section, guys. Aggressive sell-off now, no trade. Exactly, Mike. Yeah, this is the thing, right? Well, unless you're in shorts already, you can join the shorts, taking some profits. Shorting down on the, FOMOing in shorts obviously is not a great idea. Bear market lows before the bear market started. What's that on ICP, right? Bear market lows before the bear market started. Looks like Ethereum is losing value very low since that recent drop. We'll be taking a look at Ethereum later on as well. I want a reaction at 100k, says Elliot. Yeah, Legacy has been the winner. New York just opened. We can take a look at stocks. What's going on with stock market? S&P 500 getting a bit of dumpy action throughout today as well. Finding some pretty good support here. We got a bit of the range highs. There's an interesting zone that the S&P is actually reacting to, right? We did get a bit of dancing momentum here, literally at the Valley area high, right, of the last few weeks. We're counting late September, part of October. Big consolidations here. It's an interesting area to actually, wick around and then ultimately recover. People that are actually saying that the top is in on stock market and everything, well, it happens every month, right? These do get aggressive dips, but man, this doesn't look like it wants to stop anytime soon. So we are at support here on the stock market, which looks like it can get a good bounce. We are reacting very, very nicely here at the high volume node, value area high of this zone. It's important for this area to find support on the stock market. Anybody that's interested in trading stock market, you can trade the stock market on BTCC, guys. S&P 500 is on BTCC. So anybody that is interested, you get some great perks down below. Okay, on BTCC, $10,000 in rewards that you get airdropped. The more volume you move, right? The more you deposit in volume you move, you're going to get suddenly airdrops of $1,000, $2,000, right, on your account that you can use for your trading, and they'll get that off fees out of that first instead of your funds, which is absolutely awesome. Okay, so take advantage, read the conditions, and you have some great bonuses on BTCC where you can trade the stock market, which is great, using US dollar tether. So the stock market is at good support. Bitcoin is getting that little bit of a reaction. I mean, I am not a huge fan here of this level. It is getting a bit of a swing failure pattern reaction here. We dropped down beneath the low. We are already pumping, a few $100s from that low. A bit of an aggressive trade. If it does bounce from here, it is an option. It's always an option, right? It's a major low from the 17th of October. It's basically the lows. It's an aggressive long, right? It's just an aggressive long. Let's leave it that way. I'm not that interested in this aggressive long. Okay, we are downtrending. We got the risk of rolling over a little bit more, but technically speaking, it is a major higher time frame, higher low, right? So it's just been visited here after 2 weeks. Too aggressive, I have to say. Considering the risks of this being a third wave and it's just getting developed. So we're going to talk. It's getting a quick relief here after testing those lows, right? Stopping out, getting that last little bit of liquidity. A relief here would be an option. Okay, it is risky. It's not my preferred SFP level, but I understand it can just relief after testing those major lows. Okay, so let's go through the different Elliott wave scenarios. Okay, on Bitcoin. Bear with me here, guys. I got a few things ready. No more comment section. I think comment section we'll go through, guys. I want to really focus on the price of Bitcoin. So I know a lot of people are here for the education, for the levels, for the possible different scenarios, and we'll do comment section once we finish with Bitcoin. ICP claiming $6 in the next few minutes at that rate. Yeah, ICP is I'm kind of happy, guys. It's actually, my ICP bags are I would say they're back in the green. Man, this is just wants to currently just at the value area high of the range. Man, today, if anybody was considered trading here to join the pump momentum, we back tested that point of control of the entire range here of 2025 just today at $5. These are aggressive entries. When you have this market that is absolutely ripping it, if you want to join on the pullbacks. This pullback today bounced at the point of control of 2025 range, basically. So you kind of need to get quickly decisions here to enter these trades. So anyway, let's go right away through the price of Bitcoin. Okay, let's go right away through the price of Bitcoin and analyze the situation and see what we could be looking for. And then obviously, yeah, we can go through some altcoins later on. Okay, ICP, man, it's looking pretty damn nice. Bit of a short squeeze kind of pump, right? So this is why I am looking for the price to come all the way up above $6.20 at some point in the next coming days, if not today, right? Who knows? Anyway, Bitcoin getting a pretty good reaction here at those lows. Nice little reaction. Dropped about $1,000, about $700-800 from that low. it's aggressive, guys. Sometimes you need to be aggressive. I wasn't a huge fan of this level, just realizing a little bit more downside. There's not that much support here, but it's a technical swing failure pattern, right? Let's leave it that way. It is a technical swing failure pattern to participate, right, with good risk management. It swept the lows by a few $100s, and now it's getting already that bounce of a few $100s as we speak. It is an aggressive trade, only for the, you know, only for the brave, right? Let's say. What can we, you know, I mean, I need to zoom out. I need to zoom out here a little bit. We'll talk about the bullish case scenario. What is definitely interesting. I know a lot of people, do you expect, let me do a poll here first of all, guys, because this is like mandatory here. Let's do a poll here first of all, after you guys smashing up the like button, lazy boogers, before we go through the technical analysis on Bitcoin, because I think a lot of people are expecting that move down below 100K, right? I think a lot of people are expecting that move down. Do you expect, okay, do you expect the price of Bitcoin to get below 100K in the next, you know, couple of weeks? Let me know right away, because I've created this poll. I want to know your opinion, guys. Do you expect Bitcoin to get below 100K? Let me know on the poll, yes or no. Okay, I should have put here in the next coming weeks. Let me know what your votes are, because I think a lot of people are waiting and expecting that. And obviously getting below 100K, I think it would be the ultimate zone where we're looking for a significant bounce if it were to come down there, because that is the zone where we have the strongest point of control, right? Look no further. It is the biggest, highest volume node that we have, you know, beneath current price action. There's literally not any bigger, higher volume node, right? This one was literally broken. Well, we tested it back in August. We got a nice bounce. This is why point of controls are ultimately very, very important. This one got a perfect bounce from this consolidation throughout June, right? June, July consolidation. Big, nice, perfect bounce, right? Almost to the dollar right there of you know, $10,000 move, right? It's pretty significant. So eventually, you know, if this small point of control did this and it got the reaction, what could we expect from this point of control? I mean, it is sitting down at 96.5K. It's still an $8,000 move to the downside. You know, it might not reach that level. It might not reach it. It's such an obvious good level to get a significant bounce that when you want it, when you look at it, when you expect it, when you want it, it might not come. But if it does come, well, I know where I'm going to be looking at the 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame to try and spot that reversal sign, right? Because ultimately, you know, what we look at is the proof of support after a big breakdown, right? After a big move down with increasing volume. That's the moment you're looking for the double, triple bottom scenario, because you want to see a gap, right? You want to see a gap from your first wave 1, 2, a 3, you're breaking down, and then you're forming that either 1 or 2 double bottom scenario, right? 4, 5, 4, 5. But that's, you want to first at least wait for the dead cat bounce of the big move. And most commonly, eventually, you do see that dead cat bounce after a big high volume breakdown. And the dead cat bounce usually comes and tests the lows. When we consider double bottoms on the higher time frame, I mean, this is your double bottom zone, right? A lot of people will be longing early. We'll be lightly going lower. This is the common zone, right? People want to long the dips. They want to buy the dips. And what is common is you create that high volume move and then you dead cat bounce and then you test it again, right? And that's the ultimate retest that you want to join on the reclaim, right? to get that massive recovery, right? In a nutshell, that would be the ideal scenario, right? Regardless if it comes down to there or not, right? We might even recover from here, which is obviously, a difficult decision. Your best decision here is attempting the swing failure pattern from the 17th of October, which we've just, visited now in the last 30 minutes. It is an aggressive long, right? Sometimes we are waiting for bullish market structure corrections to rejoin the uptrend, right? When you form a low, to catch the low is a challenge, right? Obviously, swing failure patterns are from major pivot highs and pivot lows is your option. But ultimately, when you either want to join the uptrend, okay, you look for higher lows, right? On a stream just a couple of weeks ago, well, last week actually, we talked about a long trade here, right? Unless you longed here or longed, here, well, you want to rejoin the uptrend momentum. So catching the low is challenging. Catching the low is challenging, and if you don't know how to do it and manage risk, well, that's when the people get into longs and add to the position and stuff like that, and they don't really know how to handle the situation unless you have a stop loss and you're happy with that stop loss and you're managing risk anyway. But ultimately, if you do not, you got a few options when you have a fresh new uptrend, right? Which we had an uptrend here, which on a higher time frame, it looked a bit corrective. This is why we were very much aware of more downside here. But to get into the new trend, you either catch the low, that is very, very difficult unless you have a very solid level, or you're creating a swing failure pattern like the highs of 116k swing failure pattern. This is on Bybit, we still have this low, which is at 102.2k. These are usually reaction zones, right? You usually get an SFP of these ranges. It might be $1,000 or it might be a few $1,000s, right? But ultimately, if you're not catching the swing failure pattern, well, if you do get an ultimate recovery, then you're like, oh man, I missed catching the low. I missed catching the swing failure pattern. Where do I rejoin? Well, obviously, if you are going to form a strong uptrend, the uptrend doesn't move in a straight line, right? It doesn't move in a straight line. You're not going to come up here and V-shaped recovery to 116k, right? Most commonly, you get up there with wave formations, right? You get up there with wave formations. So ultimately, it's in your best interest to detect the first initial wave sign of strength and forming a corrective structure. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's very challenging, sometimes it's confusing. But, literally talking about this, which, I have to say, there is one scenario which I'm going to say it's possible, it's available, it's something that could happen. And we'll go through in detail here how we would want to, participate in that possible move. I know the sentiment is looking like crap, guys, but it's in our best interest to start thinking about reversals and how to spot them, right? How to spot that reversal. Now, when we consider this range that we had, okay, since created that all-time high, we were talking about, which I still very much, believe is a flat. We had a corrective move from this all-time high. It was very, very corrective. We spotted this very, very nicely. Ultimately, we were looking for the all-time highs here because this did not look impulsive, okay? You couldn't fit a contracting diagonal. There's no impulse. There's no motive wave. There's no way of counting this as a solid 5-wave move down. And we're looking for new all-time highs at some point in the near future. How we came up to all-time high from that movement was a 3-wave move up here, right? We got that 3-wave to the upside. we were aware of the price not breaking above all-time high successfully and getting a C wave inside of an ABC flat. A C wave inside of a flat is usually pretty aggressive, which was the case here, right? I'll go through comment section. Alt's pumping. Yeah, ICP is pumping nicely, man. Bull run it is when everybody's bearish and it's over. Well, you know, that's the moment, right? It's the moment to ultimately recover. So this is why I did not sell any ICP or anything on the move down, guys. We just hold on, right? Hold the bags, diamond hands, as they say. You know, obviously I'm not gonna sell at a loss. It either goes to zero or to hero, guys. We ain't here to play around with emotions. It's like, yeah, well, I lost money, well, it goes down the toilet, well, so be it. We're alive, we're breathing air, we're eating, we're happy, we stay fit, and you know, we enjoy life, right? It's not all about money. If we can make some money, absolutely great. That's the whole idea. But this is why altcoins, I don't allocate some significant amounts. But when everybody's shaken out, when we talk about shakeout first, well, we pretty much had a pretty brutal shakeout back in, you know, on the 10th of October. Alts getting obliterated. Get them out. Get them crapping in their pants, right? Shit your pants, and then I'll leave without you, right? It's something that does happen. Shit your pants. Stay bearish, because the idea is for you to stay ultimately bearish, even though we get pumps, and you know, then you get Zcash doing this, right? And you're like, holy smokes, this did a 10x in 10 days in about a month, right? Holy smokes, what the heck happened to this one? And I'm not saying that that's going to happen to ICP, but we need to stay a little bit confident. It is a good project, so hopefully it does ultimately, you know, get those massive pumps in throughout Q4, right? Yeah, we're sticking to Bitcoin here on the analysis. This is a little bit of hopium. This is a little bit of hopium, okay? It is a little bit of hopium, but there's a technical reason. We're sharing this with Devil today about this having, you know, we got a flat here. The C wave of a flat is usually aggressive and it's brutal, just as we had in October, especially October. That's been the most bullish month, right? People got this really unexpected. Right, people were not expecting this October dump. On the technicals, there was a reason to possibly form a flat and get back below 107k back in October. We were very much aware of the situation. We talk about several scenarios here on the channel. We're not saying, you know, this is exactly what we called, because we talk about bullish and bearish, but you know, just one of them that we were aware that technically it is possible that we sweep up those lows here. It seemed impossible once you're up here. So just being aware of the situation, I want you to be aware of another situation here, which is actually pretty damn interesting. And there will be a way of spotting the first leg up, okay? There will be a way of spotting the first leg up, because at the beginning of the stream I said, you know, I'm actually interested of the price getting to 116k again at some point in the next coming weeks. The problem is, where is it going to bounce? Will it be the SFP? Will it get below 100k? Will it just hit the shallow? Will it front run $100,000? We got a daily, we got some levels. It's very, very difficult to spot exactly where it's actually going to form the low. You got a few options. You got SFP from the low-Z of the 17th. That's possibly the low. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's a very common for an SFP, right? This was the high of this SFP, rolled over. Nobody knows. It's your decision here to take action, right? Manage risk if you're interested in this swing failure pattern liquidity grab. So far, it's bouncing $1,000. Yeah, you know, could it be ultimately the low? I'm going to explain how we want to spot the potential recovery, regardless if this is the low or not. Because in technical meanings here, there is a reversal possibility. There is a reversal possibility, right? If I have the possibility, I'm going to talk about it. Will it happen or not? Nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. Not know. Some people are just calling for 90K, 80K, CME gaps, or massive recovery to all-time high in December. Right? I'm here to talk about the different possibilities and how we can spot those signs of strength. So the thing here is, you know, if this is not a wave 1 and this is a wave 2 and we're building up a wave 3 that we're going to absolutely nuke, I don't think this is the scenario that's going to happen. Obviously, if this is the all-time high and we formed an impulse down and a corrective structure up, we should be developing the wave 3 throughout the next coming days since there's rejection. Wave 3 should be cooking here. And you want to see the price absolutely nuking down, because a wave 3 is eventually your most powerful wave. However, on the other side, I've been talking about this for many weeks right now. What is disturbing and makes my eyes bleed is this 3-wave structure to the upside. That is very disturbing. That's where the trick lies. This is the trick here. The trick is sitting on this 3-wave move up. And this 3-wave move up gives you many different potential bullish scenarios. And I want to talk about one of them right now, which would be bottoming out in this zone to get a recovery back to 116K. Right? I can't give you an exact level. It's already claimed that low, but I want you to be aware of that potentially happening. And that would be an ABC flat in here. Okay, so it's not the greatest to try and long the bottom here, because it's very, very challenging, obviously considering the bearish case. You got a few levels eventually beneath either swing failure pattern, or you have a daily level, and there's also a naked point of control just slightly above 100K, right? Yeah. It's very, very aggressive entry as soon as you tap one of those levels. Okay, daily levels at $101,000 approximately, okay, depending on what exchange you're using. And the naked point of control is at 101.5. Tap the level and go, dip beneath it, reclaim it and go. They are aggressive ways of trading, right? When I trade these swing failure patterns, I try and keep small positions because they're just very aggressive, right? You're going against the trend, right? You're counter trading basically. So yeah, swing failure pattern, this could be the ultimate recovery level. Is there a reason for this to recover from here? And I'm going to say there is obviously an option. That option is looking for a large complex WXY, which it is tricky, okay? I have to say it is a tricky scenario, but ultimately, as we do have a flat here, okay, it's one of the options, guys. We're going to go through a few options here. Zigzag down, zigzag up, which is the disturbing one. If you take out all-time high in a 3-wave structure and not in a 5-wave move, that's how you want to end a bull run. That is disturbing. Right, it's disturbing, and it gives you a good chance that we could be claiming all-time high, in the next coming months at some point. Of course, the range could ultimately continue for a long period of time. But what I want to explain here, a wave X is an option. You got a flat in wave W here, the large one, right, from since August all the way till October, and now the one developing throughout October and November. We moved up here. It's pretty obvious that this was, well, obvious now eventually, that this was a 3-wave move up, right? We got a 3-wavy corrective move to the upside to claim 116K, which it's swing failure patterned, and now we're rolling over. Now, for the moment, for the moment, we have a 3-wave down. What happens to form a flat in your ABC? And this would be the general idea here, to form an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to get back above 116K. This is one scenario, and I'm not calling that this is going to happen. I'm calling that it is possible. A wave, 3-wave structure, B wave, 3-wave structure, brutal C wave and a 5-waver. And if this were to come to fruition, your C waves in a flat are pretty aggressive and ferocious. This is kind of the pivotal zone for the price to form that ferocious 5-wave move to the upside. Now, what is the thing that we need to do here? We need to spot at some point that first wave up. We need to spot that wave to the upside that could be an impulse, because eventually we want to participate in the potential third wave up. And obviously we're targeting 116K as a possibility. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen. I'm here to tell you what could possibly happen, right? Nobody knows. If you want to go and follow a channel that's only bullish or only bearish and said, I've called the top guys, it's only bearish from here, there's many channels out there. I'm here to tell you the different possibilities that could happen and how we can try and spot them, right? So what is going to be our task here is try and spot the first reversal signs, regardless if it's here or if we claim 100K and then it's there. Maybe we're breaking down in a third wave, right? That's the challenging part of here. That's the challenging part. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we're nuking down to 90K, guys. I seriously don't know. However, I know that there is a chance for this to form an ABC flat here. And, spotting the low of that flat is very, of the B wave here. If this is a 3-wave move up, here you add an SFP to catch the third wave up. You add an SFP of $116,000. I mean, if this were to be the low, then, well, yeah, okay. That is going to be interesting. Whoever got in, then eventually, okay, that was the low. But it's very, very challenging. It's very difficult at this stage, having that major impulse down and a 3-wave up. It's challenging and it's dangerous. You don't want to be ultimately super mega bullish. I think it's going to pump. This is the low. We're not hitting 100K because, a lot of people trade of belief, right? I believe that it's not going to happen. I'm going to be longing because it's going to bounce regardless, right, of the technical analysis. And that's dangerous, of course, right? The belief for trading is dangerous. That can really, really, hurt you eventually. So the thing is, when you create, when I'm talking about this C wave, right? Look, when we have this ABC down, 3-wave up in a B wave, when you're going to form that C wave aggressively down, it forms a 5-wave move, right? So the thing is trying to spot here the first waves down. That is going to be our task here, guys. That's going to be our task for the next coming days. Regardless if we go down to 100K or not, I'm going to tell you the common zone, right, for this scenario, right? In this case, we're speculating on a possible flat. You literally need to get below the A wave, right? But it's basically the 90% Fibonacci, which is already hit right now. If you get below the A wave, it's more common for the B wave of a flat. But the target zone has the potential to even get all the way down to the 1236 Fibonacci, 1236, 1382 from your A wave, which is coming all the way down between 100 and 90K levels. Okay, so I mean, yeah, we could even still come down to $98,000 and consider this movement to the downside a three-wave structure if it is going to roll over, right? Inside of a B wave. Maybe the low is here. Maybe it continues rolling over with no major stops and corrections, because obviously that's what you don't want to see here. If you got this leg down, bounce, leg down, and it aggressively moves down, and then you form a large consolidation and then another leg down, well, we eventually have a five-wave structure, right? We have a five-wave impulse down. It's going to be on our best interest to try and spot the lows of the fifth wave here for that reversal. But I mean, that's another take, okay? But ultimately, I'm just letting you know that inside of this, let me just get this out of the way, inside of this possible A wave, three wave up, three wave down, it has the potential to come all the way down to $198,000 range, okay? Even 96, you're not hitting the 1.618. This is a common expanding flat targets between 1236 and 1382, which is in between 198K. It doesn't need to reach there. It's challenging to try and catch the low, understanding the bearish outcome, guys, because I very much understand the bearish scenario, right? I'm very neutral in the market, guys. I understand this, but I understand, you know, we a lot of fear right now. It's time to look for long opportunities, because, and you know, if you don't catch the bottom, which is very, very common for most of the traders, and if you do try and catch it, a lot of them get hurt, right? What you need to look for is your first initial waves before forming the third wave down and then 4 and 5. So what we are looking at here is, obviously, it's very challenging, right? To try and say, well, this is the low, it's the SFP. It's gonna absolutely reverse from here. We've claimed the lows of the 17th of October. We dropped below 103K. That's it. This is the low. Maybe it is. I'm longing. Okay. If it's not, well, oh, we're dipping below 100K. Once we get to 100K, I'm longing from there. Well, I mean, you need to have reasons. You need to have good technical reasons. Trying to catch the movement down the low is very challenging. You don't know which support is going to be the low, right? You can attempt one of them, such as this SFP. You can attempt a daily level that we have down there as well at 101K. Maybe it's this daily level that gets the ultimate reversal. You literally don't know. I don't know, right? And this is why the beauty of understanding Elliott wave theory is that at some point you are going to get a particular move to the upside that's going to look a bit strong, right? It's going to look a bit strong. At some point you are looking for that, first wave to the upside, regardless if it's going to be here, breaking local market structure. That's when you zoom into the 15-minute time frame, right? And you try and spot the momentum, and you're saying, oh, this movement up looking pretty bullish, because that's how the market moves, right? Unless you shorted here, you're an absolute beast, and you got into this local double top at 126K. Well, your goal here is to spot the lower highs before you get the big drop down, right? It always happens. It's your test here. Your task is to spot the first leg down, and the bounce is where you want to get in. And technically speaking, when we do zoom in on this price action, this was forming, right, very, very strong bullish market structure, right? This rally was insane that we had, in the first week of October. Right, we just major bullish market structure. You can spot that this actually broke this major parabolic market structure. Looking at the 4 hourly, right, at this point it seems pretty obvious. Well, it's now the overall task is to try and spot that first leg that could reverse the chart. We are trying to spot this movement, but to the upside, because you're uptrending here. Oh, bullish, insane. I don't want to short here. I don't want to short. Same here as I don't want to long, right? I don't want to long here. This is collapsing. This is moving down very aggressively in the last week. I don't want to long here. It looks bearish, and this looks too bullish. Well, it's in our best interest to look for the first sign of strength, which is that first initial wave, because the market's not going to move up in a V-shaped recovery. I mean, it could. I can't say it can't, because it could. But it's unlikely. Inside of that move to the upside, what you're going to see is something like this. So it's in our best interest to spot that first wave breaking local market structure, guys. It's the way. It's the only way. It's the only way. Whoever says that it's not, well, screw you. If you think it's, oh, we're bouncing from the moving average, or obviously there's major tools, right? You want to see lots of shorts entering here. Holy smokes, there's actually lots of shorts entering the market here on Bybit. That's actually a good sign for a reversal here. It's already getting a significant bounce. My God, the shorts here entering on Bybit has been spectacular, testing those lows from the look at this. Look at the CVD, man. The yellow here on Bybit. They've absolutely lost it. Those are first initial good signs of reversing, getting a pack of shorts entering at the lows after testing a low, man. That's crazy. Insane amount of shorts entering here, which is obviously a good sign for initial, initial reversal, right? It doesn't mean it's the absolute, golden key to get the reversal. It just helps for the initial stages. So with that theory, oh my goodness, I'm so slow, but I like to explain the things, right? I'm very, very slow. We've got a few more scenarios, man. I've been 30 minutes already with this scenario. Holy smokes, I need to get better. Streams are getting too long and too much for the people. But anyway, hopefully some people are enjoying the education, smashing up the like button. Let's do a like button recount here, legends. All right, because we stay pretty neutral. We can be confident on one scenario of more bearishness or more bullishness. Right now it's rolling down. We just tested the lows. It's getting a little reaction. For all of those aggressive scalpers that want to jump in and out, well, you had a little chance there. I wasn't a huge fan. I'm going to wait for the first sign of strength, because ultimately, yeah, it's fun to catch the low, especially on a swing failure pattern. It's like, you like a machine, right? It's so easy. I got into this long. Look at this, right? It's really good. It is a great feeling when you get into those swing failure patterns, and ultimately it does reverse. It's just a great feeling. But as mentioned, we're gonna, in the next 1 to 2 days, there will be a change of structure. If it is going to be the low, there is going to be a leg that doesn't look like a correction and does not look like part of a lower high to come back down to the lows, right? It could be one of them that looks pretty punchy, and it's, on the lower time frame, 15-minute time frame, we need to detect that 5-wave move to the upside, because literally, in a nutshell, it's going to be more difficult than this, but ultimately I want to explain how it's possibly going to move here. I mean, this is a bunch of rubbish, but ultimately this is on the candlesticks. That's a little bit of a funky wave forward right there, but ultimately that's what we this one's actually going back in time. Ultimately, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a leg up that's actually looking pretty damn strong, and it's breaking the local market structure from the last leg down. Of course, we want to be careful, because it could be a 1-2, and then whoop, right? So that correction is what we want to spot, which in a nutshell when you break this local market structure to the upside and you get the biggest move down from the uptrend, that's the one that's breaking. The lower high is where you want to participate to anticipate the third wave move down. And what we want to do here is participate in this move. Yes, there are ways of jumping in later on. Okay, there are ways of jumping late and still managing to profit. This is why just last week, just over a week ago, 9 days, you know, we were talking about a long here on the stream and, you know, basically targeting the recent highs and obviously these highs that could be targeted, right? And you're like, oh, if I don't long here and I didn't long here, I don't want to long here, right? There could be ways later to join that uptrend, right? In a safe way, guys. I mean, you might think, why complicate yourself so much here and just long? You've swept the lows. Why just long here, man? Forget about the waves. Just goddamn long, man. Well, no, because we're downtrending, right? It's just you want to be pretty. You want to be a pretty pro, right, on the analysis and realizing where the probabilities are in your advantage in this case. So the thing is, we need that 5-wave move to the upside that breaks the local structure, okay? Breaks that local structure to the downside, has a clear impulse, big volume in the middle, and obviously the corrective move down to the 50% golden pocket zone is going to be your task right there to really spot that possible reversal to the upside. And the ultimate target for this case, on looking at Elliot wave theory, is a possible flat. Okay, I am aware eventually that more downside is possible, but it's not about catching the low. The low could be here in this swing failure pattern. The low could be at the daily level at 101k. It could be at this naked point of control. It could even break down in a third wave. So catching the low is challenging, and you need to manage risk trying to catch the low. So if you don't catch the low, you want to get into the market structure change and the first initial sign of strength. And, you know, ultimately, your sign of strength is going to have to be that first leg to the upside and a pretty interesting impulsive move. Right, and then obviously you're looking for that pullback. Once this pullback has bullish CVD divergence and you get a huge amount of shorts entering the market in this zone, CVD is going to play an important role here. If you do get that leg to the upside, okay, on the CVD, on the price action, so let's just say that we do get that 5-wave move up here, and then the price corrects down. In this movement to the downside, if we get the CVD, right, climbing up, and then it rolls over aggressively, forms lower lows, you're getting a lot of selling pressure, lots of lower highs and lower lows here on the price action. Very important to form lower lows on CVD from these pivots. That is the moment that you realize the shorts are getting absorbed, and a higher low is very much a possibility, right? So you want that big first leg up in a 5-wave structure, preferably eventually, right? And then that, you know, on the correction, you want to see lots of sells coming in, which, I mean, we've seen lots of sells at the lows here right now. Man, on Bybit, there's millions of dollars in short positions here at the 104k zone, which is, this is fueling the liquidation to the upside. It's fueling a major short squeeze pump. So yeah, 45 million in the last hour, guys, just as we were testing the lows, which is pretty significant. Lots of shorts entering here at the low. They're literally underwater right now as we speak. Not a level to short down here, guys, when you test a low. You would rather want to look for an SFP, right? It's like long in here. Who the heck is long in here when you're testing a major resistance? Well, who the heck's shorting down here when you're testing a major low? So the thing is, if you don't catch the low at a good entry and you're defensive, then you kind of feel left out, right? You feel left out. Oh my goodness, it's recovering. It's getting a major pump. And I mean, I'm just explaining this, guys, regardless if this is the low or not, or we come down to the daily level, or yeah, basically the daily level, or that naked point of control that we do have also at 101.5. It's all about seeing the first leg that is reversing the trend. It's breaking local market structure. You're spotting that 5-wave move up, and the correction is what you want to see, that it's moving down poorly, right? It's a poor move down, sideways, choppy, overlappy. It looks like a bull flag. Well, if it looks like a bull flag, it might be a bull flag, right? Just keeping it in simple terms as well. And that's where you want to participate on the reversal. So yeah, I mean, I am really, bearish scenarios is literally just continuing this momentum. I have to say, I'm not that interested in any local shorts down here, guys. Me personally, 3-wave up, 3-wave down for the moment. The flat is one scenario. A flat here is possible. And bearish case scenario, I'm really more interested down here in spotting reversals and joining that reversal, right? Which is obviously the challenging part, right? So a bearish case is literally rolling over here, right? There's no more to it. The bearish scenario is literally getting that rollover and breaking down. What can we say? The bears don't want to hear the bullish case, right? And the bulls don't want to hear the bearish case. So did I say the same thing? Maybe not. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to say this is going to happen as mentioned. We stay pretty neutral. We try and identify the possible reversal signs. The bearish case is pretty is obvious at this point. The bearish case is really looking at this being the third wave. Maybe this is a 1-2, 1-2, and we nuke here 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? Maybe we develop a third wave in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that is very much possible. If this bounce to the upside is going to be extremely corrective, because I can already tell you that this movement down does look, you can fit a nice impulsive move down here. Okay, there is a nice impulsive down, high volume in the middle, green candle right now. But the highest volume is in the middle here, so this is counted best as an impulse. So if this is the low of the 5th wave, and we move up, we correct, right, and we get lots of overlap, and it's looking very, very choppy and very channely, right, just like this scenario, this was clear that this was an impulse. I would have preferred, in this case, this C wave to get a bit higher, man, and then lose that point of control. But we mentioned this possibly being a correction on one of my video updates. To take that short was breakout, fake out, 3-wave move. You lost the point of control. We're looking for the lows of the range. It just ended up in a shallow double top. But it's one scenario, right, that you look for. Right, this looks impulsive. Okay, we're looking for a 3-wave structure. Loss here, attempting to break out and then roll over back. However, it just ended up in a very shallow double top. This C wave is very, very shallow, which is not preferred. You want to see that C wave at least, similar size of the A wave, or a little bit shorter, but not this short. But the resistance that we had here at the point of control was just too hard. It was too hard of a resistance. Not even having a fake out of $1,000 is possible. Roll over directly. So where would be the resistance that is very, very strong in this zone? Well, I'm going to say, preferably we do get a move up at least to the value area low. I mean, there is a naked point of control from Tuesday, basically around about 107k. Let me just get that naked point of control all the way up here. This was from Monday's price action. Sorry, Monday's price action has a naked point of control there. So if you are if I was considering a short on a lower high, it would have to be previous day point of control, which is in confluence with the valley area low and also the last lower high, 50% golden pocket region. This zone eventually would be the area for me to speculate on a short if we are going to move up there in a boom, 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 right? Bit of a three waver. You are downtrending 50% to the golden pocket between 107 and 108k is the resistance zone. So any shorts down here, I'm not too interested in getting in here. We possibly have a completed wave here. This is a completed wave. You look for a larger relief. Will that larger relief be a impulse? Will it look impulsive, or will it look corrective? 1, 2, 3, and it struggles here in this zone. This is the interest box, because a 1, 2, 1, 2 is possible, right? We can't ultimately say be bullish on the first pump of $2,000, guys, right? We need to understand the bearish case, and the bearish case is breaking down in a third wave. And if we're building a third wave, a multiple 1, 2 here, it's been developed in the last 10 days, is possible. Where do usually wave 2s reach? At least the 50% Fibonacci is most common. If we are considering this your wave 1 and this is a wave 2, we literally scratched the 50%. Why didn't it get higher above the 50%? Because we had the high volume node point of control. That's why we literally, we rejected from here. Why didn't it reach the golden pocket? Well, you had the point of control, that's it. This is why this box here is the ultimate big resistance. That's where I would maybe consider a short in this zone. It would be nice to attempt to break above the valley area low of this zone of October. Maybe this lower high at 108k. It's an interesting area of resistance. That's where I expect the price to get a move down. The question is, will it be corrective or will it be impulsive? If you move up in a 5-wave structure, then you can spot the 5th wave to get a pullback, look for a scalp short, right, for a correction at least to the 382 Fibonacci or the 50%. 382 at a bare minimum, most commonly, because 382 Fibonacci after a wave hits over 75% of the times. When you have a calculated move down and you realize that you're forming a 5th wave and you realize that you could bounce, the 382 Fibonacci from that movement down, over 75% of the times it is hit. Okay, so I think it's 78% or something like that. So yeah, if you can spot that 5-wave move up on the 15-minute time frame in the next coming days, if it were to happen, then obviously you're shorting the 5th wave into the corrective move. And it's obviously, if you have this move up, you're shorting into a long. This would be a day trade short, and I would be looking for long positions in between 50% and golden pocket zone for that wave 2. So yeah, obviously we need that information, right? We just don't. It's your task to literally spot it, right? You need to spot it. This is the fun thing about technical analysis. You need to spot the sign of strength, where to participate, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like a map, and you need to look for the weaknesses and signs of strength, and on the map, right, to then obviously participate in the market. And just like this point of control, that's the weakness point after the 5-wave down, right? 3-wave up, then down, big resistance. That's how you map the situation, right? That's in your best interest to look for shorts. If you fail above this zone, if you get an attempt and it fails, you want to short it, right? So The biggest zone for the possible wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, and you end up breaking down into November, right, in a wave 3, look no further. This is the rejection zone between 107 and 108k. You have the value area low of the range of October. You have a naked point of control of Monday, high volume node at 107.5k, and that is coming in at the 50% to the golden pocket area. That's your common zone for a wave 2. So the most bearish case, if we are going to roll over, I mean, the tricky part here right now, you know, you could have finished a 5th wave, right? It could have been finished. You might get one more leg down. It does become challenging. You really need to go to the 5-minute time frame and really like spot the lower time frame waves here to try and really detect that last leg down on a 5th wave. But in simple terms, 15-minute time frame to 1 hour, right? You're looking for that recovery here. That's a sweet spot, okay? This is the sweet spot here where the price could struggle. If you have lots of longs entering into the resistance, bearish CVD divergence from this pivot, lower highs on price action, higher highs on CVD, then eventually, you know, that's the moment that you want to say, okay, we're likely going to get at least a pullback in this zone when you use those different tools, right, such as Delta or CVD. There's lots of longs entering here at resistance, then it's likely going to get a pullback. If we move up in a 5-wave structure, then, you know, you might get that resistance and then a 5-waver. Then your correction here is going to be the moment of, okay, guys, this is looking good. This is where we need to participate, right? We need to identify some kind of a bullish flag, overlappy structure, channely to the downside, and this leg to the upside being bullish, because the next wave, if it is going to be a 3rd wave and we're looking to get to 116k, it's going to be, they are usually fast and very quick, and they don't get very big pullbacks, right? Then eventually the 4th wave, you know, does get that pullback, and then the 5th wave. It's in our best interest to participate in this wave, in the 3rd wave, right? And then that's what we want to try and detect in the next coming days. Is it going to happen now, or are we going to break down below 100k? You know, we are rolling down, we are in bearish trend, but I am teaching you basically to try and spot that first initial signs of a reversal, because obviously, you know, shorting in this zone and participating on the 3rd wave here to the downside, you know, that's in your best interest. So the same scenario that I'm talking about is possible here, okay? And you are literally targeting 116k. 116k is a possible target if this does play out, and we want to position ourselves safely in that possible wave 2. Regardless, if we come down to 101k, or this is the low, or we come down to 98k or 96, which is the point of control of this range, these are aggressive levels to long. Swing failure pattern from 98k, maybe. Just like this low, it's aggressive. You might get a bounce of $1,000 and that's it. End of the party. You're forming a lower high and you're going lower. These are aggressive levels to long, right? But they work as they do work as a guideline. These levels on the chart are guidelines. If you trade beneath them, it is in your best interest to not be positioned in a long. If you claim them and get back above them, then you can attempt that long, which is currently we're getting a small little swing failure pattern from that low of the 17th of September. So there are ways of getting into these positions, right? Once you dip beneath them, get back above them. Sometimes the swing failure pattern is a bunch of crap. You bounce $1,000 and then you come back down. And that's why you want to accept a stop loss, break even, or very, very small loss beneath the low if you haven't protected your position. But playing around here with just adding to longs and that is just, it's a dangerous game. The people that added to long positions here, especially on altcoins, they got wrecked. You don't want to do that. You want to have levels that are your guidelines. These are your guidelines. You're beneath it, you're not longing. You know, you get above it, you're long. So sometimes it's just better to realize the different scenarios. The most bearish scenario is you're still developing the third wave and we nuke, guys. This is something that you always need to be aware of in the bearish case, right? Bullish scenarios look interesting, and how to spot that reversal sign is looking for your first leg to the upside. That's what we want to try and spot on the 15-minute time frame. 5 wave strong, breaking local market structure and looking for that reversal, regardless if it's here, here, or here, right? So that's going to be the task for the people that have been watching the stream, and let's see if that does happen in the next coming couple of days, maybe, right? If not, we just go lower, guys. We just go lower. How is ICP doing? Let's take a look at ICP. Not other scenarios, really. For the moment, that ABC flat is the most interesting scenario. The bearish one, let's stay real. We are trending down. Impulse, 3-wave structure. 1, 2. We're possibly developing the third wave. If we get a multiple 1, 2, the best zone here of resistance is 107 to 108K. I cannot short the market where we at right now. Maybe if you're a scalper, you're getting into local bounces just to claim the lows, then yes. But if you're interested in a bigger move of $3, $4, maybe $5,000, the best shot to get resistance is the value area low, naked point of control, and between 107 and 108K, which would be 50% golden pocket zone from your last wave to the downside. If you are going to consider a multiple 1, 2 here, it would be the most interesting zone to look for a short. Okay, so, and if not, you're still in the third wave. If you don't get a bounce and you just continue rolling here, volume might increase throughout midnight. And I wake up tomorrow morning, we're trading at 98K. Maybe the third wave, as we haven't got any good bounce like this one that we had throughout the previous weekend, then maybe the wave hasn't finished yet. Maybe the wave hasn't finished yet, right? So that's a little bit it, guys. Let's go through the comment section. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the education, guys. It takes time. I hope I haven't wasted your time. If you think that I haven't wasted your time, okay, make sure to smash up the like button. It's identifying opportunities. That's what we do. And if you did enjoy that, let's smash up the like button, get above 300 likes. I'm going to go around the table and let's see if when I come back, I'm going to have a drink of water. And if I get back, let's see if we do get above 300 likes. That will be awesome, guys. We were over 500 people watching, 600 at one point. Share some love, guys. We're just teaching, doing education, analysis, looking for opportunities. Smash it up, guys, if you do enjoy it. And I'm going to go through the comment section right now in the next 10 seconds. Oh yes, oh yes. All right, ICP is looking hot. It was looking bad. Ooh, it's looking hot, man. I'm kind of in the profit ever so slightly. Okay. Because we're literally at the top of the range right now. This is nice. All right, let's take a look at the poll and go through the comment section. We almost got to 300 likes, okay? People even leaving the stream before smashing up the like button. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. What can I do? I bet if I put a gun on your head, you would smash up the like button, would you? That's not possible. Let's go through the comment section and let's take a look at the poll here because, man, 600 votes. Do you expect Bitcoin to get below 100K? Yes. 60%, 59% of people here, guys, over 600 votes. 59% are saying yes. 41%, it is pretty equal. Most of the people do expect below 100K. Man, Bitcoin below 100K seems cheap. We've seen it above 100K for, oh man, it seemed like a longer time. Since May, it wasn't that long, 5 months. It's been over 5 months above 100K. 6-digit Bitcoin. A 5-digit Bitcoin seems kind of cheap. Seems cheap, man, for a Bitcoin. 5-digit, bring it on. I think there's going to be lots of buying interest below 100K. Anyway, let's go through comment section. When to enter spot market. When to enter the spot market. I can tell you DCAing on Bitcoin is the best strategy. If you are new or you've been in Bitcoin crypto for the last year, obviously buying Bitcoin every month, whatever you can, in the long term always plays out. It's always played out till today. Obviously you have that possible downside risk of a bear market, which is what people expect in 2026 according to the 4-year cycle theory. The top is in, but this is it's probably the best moment to start buying as we are below all-time high. You know, we are down almost 20% from all-time high. This is the moment you want to start DCAing into Bitcoin. Why not, right? If you're new, that's what I've done since 2018, and I did it aggressively throughout 2022 bear market and part of 2023. And I went very aggressive, buying everything that I could, you know, at 20K, 25K, 18K, I managed to get some. And that's obviously done a 5X. You know, it's almost about a 5X. And, you know, when you buy aggressively, that's obviously paid out, right? It did pay off. Coins is releasing soon a very nice book on Elliot wave theory. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, Kuhn's is an absolute master on Elliot wave theory. I love Kuhn. He's very, very good, very technical, very, very good at explaining. Anyone else bought ICP on the drop? I got at 2.4. Thanks, Andy, for the hyping it back in the days. Man, absolute legend. ICP is a very good project. It's leading in AI, and it's you know, for me it's extremely undervalued, and now we are seeing it rising, right? Obviously there are some projects that failed, such as Cadena, such as Umbrella, but these ones are very high risk. You know, I don't think the ICP is that much high risk. Ultimately it has gone down, but ultimately I do see a good recovery on ICP. It's doing very, very well in the last few days. Very, very well. Good recovery up. And remember, the best opportunities is when you have a major liquidation event. You get everybody scared and shitting their pants. And then that's, you know, that's what you see, right? That's what you see after an massive, brutal move down throughout August and September and October eventually. And then off to Valhalla, right? And now it seems like a healthy run to the upside could happen when everybody's obviously there's over 95% of the altcoins that are not going to do anything, guys, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Buen análisis, como siempre, Andy, el genio de YouTube. Love your channel. Juan Take. Gracias por el comentario, amigo. Muy importante. That was a good, nice comment here from Juan Take. Much love to you, brother. ICP released Caffeine also, which is a DApp AI creation tool. Yeah, I know. ICP is in the game. You know, they have a huge amount of developers worldwide. Andy, my man, I'm pleased to brag a little to say I trimmed most of my altcoins significantly except for ICP and several others. Structure had potential for Gartley 2618. Where are you at with it? With ICP, I mean, for the moment, talking about the technicals, we have broken major resistance. Obviously, the one that we were getting resistance just yesterday was the point of control from 2022. We were dancing at this resistance yesterday at $4. And I don't know, you know, today it just decided to get an absolute blast off. But this was the most important resistance. At the end of the day, it was a swing failure pattern from the bear market lows. Hey, we back tested that level also, right? How blindly could we have been, right? When you think about swing failure pattern of the lows of the bear market of 2023, move up, back test it, move up, bit of resistance at point of control, blast off. We're breaking through major resistance, and that's what you want to see. So far, you know, my first target zone is not too far away. We need to get above here. I think a swing failure pattern from these lower highs is very possible. That could create a pullback. That pullback hopefully is going to be a corrective pullback, very choppy consolidation here throughout the next, you know, give or take 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, but yeah, first target zone without a doubt. There's lots of liquidity here, lots of stops from shorts. That's the first stop here. So yeah, above $6.20 in the next coming days, you know, might take a week or so. We're above major support. If we do get some pullbacks, I've explained how this value area low and point of control is gonna play a brutal role here for ICP. If it were to come down to this zone, okay, it's brutal that we hold this area, in my opinion, on ICP. If we were to pull back in the next coming days, might be a scenario to look for longs eventually, right? Let's go. Thank you, Atatuke. Hi Andy, can you put a chart on screen? Any chart? Hi Andy, can you put a chart on screen? Any chart on screen? Yeah, I've been putting ICP. Cadena is looking good. Yeah, Cadena, I'm not sure about that. Andy, thanks for all the scenarios analysis. Could you TA Ethereum? Let's do Ethereum, because Ethereum is looking a little bit. I've got a few longs on Ethereum and they're in the red, guys. They are in the red, but they were in the green as well. And yeah, mate, it was Ethereum is looking a little bit challenging here. I mean, I am really still, you know, very much vocal on Ethereum holding the 50% Fibonacci, not hitting the golden pocket here. So golden pocket is literally the hard invalidation for this to be a wave 4. Okay, it's getting a little bit overextended. I am in some longs at slightly higher levels, which they are underwater. Not big positions, because I wanted a sign of strength and a corrective structure to add heavily to the position. So on Ethereum, you know, I think a breakdown, you know, the best scenario eventually, if you want to get into a new swing long position trying to catch the low, if Bitcoin does get that drop of a few more $1,000s and gets below 100k, which I do expect it to get supported, is the swing failure pattern from this higher low at exactly at 3,350. That is an interesting area for the price to swing failure pattern. It's a major pivot higher low on the, you know, higher time frame. So yeah, you know, keeping it simple. There's a few Elliot wave scenarios, but there are a couple of them, and it's just going to take 20 minutes to go through. But in simple terms, I still see this as corrective price action. Okay, it looks very corrective. We are not going to go too much in detail because there's WXY triangle, but pointing out that those scenarios, it does look like that this range could be the zone of opportunity, and a swing failure pattern is always a great option, right? Until you form that first sign of strength, which is a 5-wave move up, corrective structure, and that's where you realize that this could be the low. right? Maybe this one, wherever that 5 wave happens. And that's what I've been waiting for here, which we never got, because I got into a small long position on Ethereum. Still in that long, it's a small position, so I'm just holding it, not too bothered really. And my initial plan was wait for a big strong leg up in a 5 wave structure to really make that position to a 2-3% capital, right, to ultimately look for all-time highs in that 5 wave move up. That never happened, right? It's never happened on the movements down. We haven't got a solid 5 wave move to the upside, just testing range highs, range lows. If you want to really catch a low, I think your best option at this point is this low at 3,350. We're not that far away. Bitcoin's still rolling over. Bitcoin has the potential still to go to lower prices. And this does look very corrective. So I am looking for Ethereum to find a bottom very, very soon. The question is which one it is. Swing failure pattern from this high low, it's a good option. 3,350. Is it going to go down there? Maybe, maybe not. Your goal here, same as Bitcoin, is to look for that first leg to the upside that is looking strong and is breaking the local downtrend structure, which obviously could get developed in the next 1 to 2 weeks. That's where we want to say it's looking good. It's looking good, right? So, because it doesn't matter to catch the low, but you can participate right before that wave 3 happens, because when wave 3 happens, then it's just going to go, right? It's just going to go quickly, and it will be hard to jump in. You can just randomly long eventually. It's going to still be good. You could have longed here anywhere. They would have been okay, but it's emotionally difficult, right? You want to try and get into those pullbacks after the first sign of strength to get the best entry, right? So yeah, that's what I'm looking for in Ethereum. Get that first sign of strength to then participate in the wave 3, which it will come at some point, guys. It will come. It's all about remaining patient, trying to long right. Obviously, trying to short down here is not the option. This is why we're talking about longs, because shorts, unless you shorted from here. I shorted very nicely all-time high, but all the profits were taken. Now it's more interesting to try and detect that long. So a swing failure pattern from here is an option. Manage risk. Trying to catch the low is a difficult task, and it can be dangerous. Or once you get that reversal at some point, you want to detect that 5 wave move up, and that's where you want to participate. That's the initial stages where you're like, okay guys, we could be developing wave 2. Your invalidation is that low. Let's try and spot here 50% golden pocket, corrective structure. It's looking good. I want to be part of the next leg up here on Ethereum to claim all-time highs. Okay, in simple drawings here, guys. Okay, simple drawings. I don't want to go too technical on Elliot wave theory. There's a few scenarios, but it's just going to take a long time, and I'm going to wrap it up very, very soon. Okay. Yeah. What about umbrella? How deep in the toilet is it? We tried. Yeah, that one is down the toilet big time. This one went through the this one, yeah. This one closed down. The company imploded, right? The company imploded. What can we do? Same as Cadena. Cadena imploded. And this is what happens in crypto. What happened to Terra Luna? What happened to the biggest deepen project, which is OM, right? Mantra DAO. This is the danger. This is the risks that you take. This is why a diversified portfolio is obviously Bitcoin being the leader. Ethereum for me number 2, obviously DeFi leading blockchain. But OM, Mantra DAO, well, that one also went down the toilet. So yeah, what can we say? Cadena also. I actually had a bit of Cadena somewhere in the portfolio. I can't remember. This one imploded as well. This one collapsed. This is the risk that you take, of course, in crypto. Yeah, Cadena chart as well. This one, that Cadena, another one that imploded. What can we do? What can we do? Byron, my man, possible for BTC 92k, CME gap 98k, wick before the massive move that shocks everyone. Just need the spark. Most will be caught off guard and left behind waiting for pullbacks. Buy at max fear. Very true, my man. Byron, very good take. We know that extreme fear is at 21 right now. And there's some interesting data when we do get to the sentiment. You know, the sentiment has been so bad. This is the moment where we're looking for some reversal signs. This is why today's live stream has been basically focusing on when can we reverse? When can we get the first leg up on that sign of strength? Could it be here? Could it be the daily? Could it be filling the CME gap? Could it be at this low? Could it be at the point of control at 96k, 96.5k? The risks of falling down in a third wave are there. So it's very, very challenging for a swing long position here on Bitcoin. Let's be honest. It's very, very challenging. What you need to wait for is that first initial leg to the upside that looks promising, and look for the correction to join the movement, right? So that's basically what we focused today on Bitcoin. We are aware of more downside, but we are interested in reversal signs. You've got a few levels on the chart daily at 101k. Not that it's a major level, but we got the buy bit low at 102k, 102.2k to be more specific. Naked point of control, we do have also one here at 101.5k. Not that they are major here. Realizing the possible downside, these are very, very aggressive levels to consider along. You know, not too interested. I'm really waiting for that first leg up that's breaking the downtrend structure locally. For, you know, we need this move up first in a 5-waver, and then obviously, you know, we want to be in this wave. But to be in this wave, you need the first wave. So that's kind of what we're really waiting for here to consider swing long, because trying to catch the low here is you know, is challenging unless you're exactly getting at the level and you're defensive. You probably got stopped out already from that SFP attempt. That's it. It was a failed swing failure pattern. You don't want to be in that long anymore. It's a failed swing failure pattern. No reason to be in a long right now when you're trading beneath this low. You need to be out of the market till you get that leg up, right? People that are getting into longs here, not a great idea. One of them will play out, but the one that doesn't will get you liquidators. And we do not do that anymore, right? We don't do that anymore. Trump dot, when Lambo? Good question. I could buy a Lambo. I could buy a couple of Lambos, but I'm old already. I'm old. Like to be invested and in cash. I like to be liquid. BlackRock selling, strategy buying. The same story, right? Legends, thank you very much. Staffer One here, giving love and support. Thanks for smashing up the like button, guys. Much love to everybody. Anybody that wants to trade the stock market or gold, okay, you can use BTCC or bluffing, guys. Somebody asked me in a DM today. I couldn't find gold. The ticker symbol is CHAU, XAU, okay? If you want to trade gold using stablecoins such as US dollar Tether on bluffing, it is under CHAU, okay? You get 15% cash back on bluffing, guys. Take advantage. You can trade gold there. And you can trade stock market on BTCC. $10,000 in rewards. Take advantage of those bonuses. Links are down below. Bluffing, BTCC, great exchanges. And you've got hundreds of cryptos to trade there, guys. You only need an email and a password. Much love to everybody. Thanks for smashing the like button. Thank you for joining. We know what we're looking for. Stay safe, trade safe. Shout out to ICP getting that rally in the last couple of days. Much love, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.